What is going on, guys? It's your boy Dame and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video I have an awesome tutorial for you on how to upgrade the shield in the Voyage of Despair, giving you the Svalin guard, which gives you the cryo freeze ability, and of course making it a lot more stronger than the previous shield. So if you do enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's get straight into that video. So the first thing you're going to want to do is grab yourself a firework. To get your hand on one of these fireworks, you're first going to have to find one of 5 pipes where it will spawn. The 5 locations are as follows. You've got 2 in the bridge. One of them is next to the captain's wheel. You can actually find this through 2 windows, whether inside the bridge or just on the staircase as you're walking up to the bridge. The second location is going to be behind a barrier to the left hand side of the arcade 7. The third location can be found in first class to the left hand side of the perk. Behind the far room barrier is going to be inside there as well. The fourth location is going to be near the aft deck besides the promenade deck, which is the small little tea room you have to go through, and again it's going to be behind a barrier in there. And the fifth location can be found in third class, which is just above the provisions, which is on the poop deck side of the map. When you've found the little vial or firework, you'll see it inside the pipe and it will be shaking. All you have to do is shoot it with a weapon. It then gets sucked up the pipe and taken to a different location of the map. It can land in one of 3 locations on the map, and the 3 locations are as follows. You have one in the engine room just as you go through the main doors. It's on the left hand side next to the metal stairs. Another location can be found in the Millionaire's Suite, which is going to be at the back far right hand of the room. And the last location can be found in the mail room, which again is going to be just down the stairs as you're walking from spawn in a basket on your left hand side. You're then going to want to have to pick up that firework and place it in one of the firework holders around the map. Now there are 4 locations to place these fireworks in, but to do this Easter egg we're just going to place it inside one holder. I will give you the 4 locations anyway. There are 2 at the back of the poop deck side of the map, one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. They're small little white pipes, and there's also 2 in spawn as well. There's one right next to the actual perk itself on the floor, and there's one completely opposite on the other side of the boat. And this is the place you're going to want to put this firework to make sure it works the first time every time. You can place it in the others, and it is possible to do it in the others, but this one is very easy, and I will explain why. After you've put the firework in the holder, you're then ready to go on to the next step. You are then going to have to bring out the car, the flying car. If you don't know already, there is a small Easter egg with a flying car that flies around the map, and it will drop power-ups every single round. But you're going to have to now spawn this guy in. To be able to start this, you're first going to want to build the shield. I'm sure there's plenty of tutorials how to find the pieces to build the actual shield. You then want to take yourself down into the mail rooms, and there's going to be a big safe. On that safe is going to be a small little contraption which looks like it would unlock the safe. You're going to want to pull your shield out and melee that contraption, and it will fall to the floor. The next objective for this is then to put this contraption on 4 smaller safes around the map. The door will open. You then need to put a piece of bone inside that safe in a particular order to be able to spawn the car in. The 4 safe locations are as follows. You have one in the bridge, which is just behind the captain's wheel. You also have one in first class, which could be found on the far left hand side opposite where the perk is. You also have one in the Millionaire's Suite, which is on the floor next to the doorway, and you also have a location in third class as well on the long hallway just before the little drop down you have to jump in to sometimes get yourself into the engine room. You then need to put bones inside these safes, but in a particular order, and the order is very easy to find out. The 4 bone locations can be all found in the mail room and inside the cargo room. So if you take yourself down into the mail room, right on your right hand side straight away you're going to find a skull. Another location is going to be, if you continue down the stairs on the right hand side on a desk, you're going to find a hand. Then you need the femur bone or the leg bone, which will be found on the far right hand side of the mail room. And the last location is going to be the foot, which can be found on the floor next to some crates inside the cargo room. Besides each foot there is going to be a number. The numbers stay the same every game. It could be 1912 or 1404, but you need to pay very close attention to what these numbers say. The numbers are right next to where the bones are. I'm going to put a few images on screen now so you can see exactly where they are. The hardest one to find is the skull, which is actually behind some bottles on the cabinet, but each bone will have their own particular number. You're then going to have to take yourself to one of the smaller safes. Which safe, it doesn't really matter, any one of the 4. You put the small contraption on the safe, the dials will start spinning and it will give you a particular number. Take a note of this number because this is going to tell you exactly the piece of bone you need to put in the safe. So whilst you got your number, you then run down into the mail room or into the cargo bay and you find the piece of bone that has the matching number. You then pick that piece of bone up, you take it up into the safe, the smaller safe that is open, you hold square, the bone will go inside the safe will close, it will give you a small blue animation, and then you are able to pull your shield back out and melee the contraption back off the safe. If done correctly, then this will be your first step. You then need to repeat this 3 times. So you go to your next safe, you put on the contraption of the safe door, you let the door open, you note down what numbers were on the contraption for that safe, you go and find the piece of bone with the same number corresponding to that safe, and then you pick that piece of bone up and you put it into that safe. You need to do it with all 4 safes. If you've done it correctly, you won't be able to melee the contraption off the last safe and it will stay there, and that is that step complete. After you've done that, you could then call in the car. So to call in the car from here, you're going to want to take yourself into the cargo bay, and on the left hand side where the teleporter is, you're going to find a car inside a big crate with what looks like to be a starry sky underneath it. You then hold square on the car and it will sink into the ground. This will then activate the car to start flying around the map. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You have to hit that car with the firework we placed earlier. If you follow these small instructions, it will become very easy to do. So if you stand where I'm stood on spawn, the car will spawn in the sky on the far right hand side of the map and then fly across the right hand side of the boat in towards spawn. He will do a hard left hand turn and start flying directly above the firework that we're looking at now. The way I done it was listen for his horn. When he beeps his horn, when he's closest to you and closest to the firework, you want to shoot that firework, and that firework is going to fly up and hit the car in the bottom. It is then going to stick to the car and continue with the car across the whole map. The car is then going to continue flying around the whole map until he finally disappears into the distance where he usually would, into an iceberg. When he hits this iceberg, he is going to explode and shoot off a piece of the iceberg across the map. It's going to fly all the way towards the boat, eventually crashing into the shield. After it crashes into the shield, it automatically upgrades the shield for you. If you do miss the firework, it doesn't matter. You can repeat this every single round, so if you do miss it, just wait to the next round. He will come out again, and if he does not, you can go back into the cargo bay and press square on the car again to keep repeating this step. But again, just wait until he hits that horn. As soon as he hits his horn, shoot the firework and you should get it first time every single time. And of course, if you've done it correctly, you will get the upgraded shield. This gives you the cryo freeze ability, so now when you use your gun and shoot any zombies, it will freeze them and give them a freezing animation. Also, if you melee them with the shield, it will also freeze them as well. And of course, it gives you increased durability as well. I'd like to give a huge shout out to DarknutDeath for hitting me up with the information to be able to complete this. So thank you so much, good sir. If you need any help at all, be sure to put it in the comments down below and I'll be sure to advise you if you're doing anything wrong. But homies, until the next video, this is your boy Dame, and I'm out.